زادك الأيام فتى.
Another view of scholars, they said, even those two situations in which the Prophet spoke out, it's not called a talaffuz bin niyyah. They said it's not. It's not the Prophet uttering his intention. They said this is called dhikr. Waridun. It's a dhikr, a remembrance. Just like when you go to bed, you say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. Or Allahumma inni a'udhu, when you go to the toilet, you say Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. And when you come out, you say Ghufranak. When you eat, you say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. We remember we said the Bismillah, it means what? The ba is harfu jar, ismullah is ism majrur, and then the jar and the majrur have to be connected to something. Are you with me? So what did we say? متعلقة بفعل محذوف مقدم. It's connected to a verb that is hidden, that came early before it. Why are we putting it forward? لأن we want the issue to be حصر. تأخيره to delay something that should have been, to put forward something that should have been delayed. It shows what? حصر. So here when you say Bismillah and you're eating, what are you saying? You say Bismillah أأكل. That's محذوف. So are you trying to say that you're reading your intention out loud? لا, this is أذكار الواردة that's transmitted to us in our ibadah, and this seems to be strong. That talaffuz bin niyyah is never permissible. Are you with me? The khilaf of the scholars in those wordings is khilaf al-tanawwu'. Whether they say this or that is khilaf al-tanawwu'. The wordings are only different, but they both are trying to say that other than those times you are not allowed to. You're not allowed to say it. Good. Here that we have to realize is that the haram, it enters in the intentions. The muharramat, the prohibited things, they fall under the intention. For example, if a person does haram, and this is something very important that a person has to understand. If a person does something haram, فَمَنْ فَعَلَ الْمُحَرَّمِ, anyone who does something that's haram, نَاوِيًا لَهُ, he intends this haram. He deserves the punishment for it. He deserves a punishment. We keep using the word deserves, because Allah may not want to punish him. That's why we keep saying he deserves to be punished. Because Allah does whatever He wants, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and however He wills. But this individual deserves that punishment. What does he deserve? That punishment. So, as for أَمَّا مَنْ فَعَلَ الْمُحَرَّمِ, as for the person who does haram, وَلَمْ يَكُنْ نَاوِيًا لِلْفِعْلِ الْمُحَرَّمِ, that he done haram. Pay attention. The first one, he done haram and he intended it. He intended the haram. The second one, are you with me? He done an act which was haram. The action is haram, but he didn't intend it. That person doesn't deserve the punishment. Rather, in the Shari'ah, that person can consider what he did khata, mistake, shortcoming. And a khata, a shortcoming, لا تؤاخذ, he's not hold account for it in the Shari'ah. And why? Because Allah said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. In Sahih Muslim, what did Allah say? قَدْ فَعَلْتُ, I have done that. Done what? The dua you guys asked, which is, oh Allah, do not hold us account for what? لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. Don't hold us account if we forget something or if we're short in a matter. You see? So Allah tabarak wa ta'ala said. In another wording of the narration, it says, Na'am. Allah said, yes. Yes, I've done it for you guys. Also Allah said in another ayah, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ فِيمَا أَخْطَأْتُمْ بِهِ وَلَكِنْ مَا تَعَمَّدَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ. Allah said, it is no burden. You're not held account for what? That which you do by mistake. You're not held account for it. But you're held account for what? For that which you do what? Good. That's important. If that is clear then, if a person, what about if a person, so we mentioned the first one was a person done an act of haram. He intended the act. What does he deserve? Punishment, uqubah min Allahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. The second one is فَعَلَ الْحَرَامَ. He done an action which is haram. غَيْرَ نَاوِيًا. He didn't intend it like in. This person is called a mukhti. He fell into a khata. He's a mukhti. He's done a mistake. We will say فِعْلُهُ khata. His mistake, his action is what? It's نعم. Good. The third point, which is what? The third one is a person. He does something, an action which is mubah. Pay attention. a person does an action which is mubah, pay attention, but he thought it was haram. He believed that this action is haram. But in reality, the real ruling of this action is what? It's mubah. It's permissible. Are you with me? He, on the other hand, believes and wanted haram from it. Are you with me? What is that? What example would mean? A man intended to commit zina from a woman. He took the bus, he went to the place, he met the woman. The woman said, I'm shy. Are you with me? I don't want you to see my face. She covered her face, and they committed zina. After he found out that it was his wife. He found out it's what? It's his own wife, he found out. Okay, in this regard, what's the hukum of the Shari'ah? What's the hukum in the Shari'ah? This individual, he's a zani. He committed zina. He will be punished for it in the eyes of Allah. Oh, he deserves, to be punished by Allah. He deserves what? But will he get a capital punishment? Why? The reason is because, pay attention, the act of haram are 2 or 3 types. Act of haram are 3 of types. Good. إثم على ذات الفعل. A sin on just the mere action. Allah punishes you for that. Are you with me? The second one is إثم على النتائج والآثار المترتبة على الفعل. Are you with me? A sin on the results and that which came out from your action. And the third one is عقوبة, a punishment على الجزم, a punishment upon the intention in which the person intended. So the action, the person. Are you with me? The action, the intention, and the consequence that comes out of it. Pay attention now. If a person comes with the intention alone in the eyes of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, if you learn these 3, it'll help you from a lot of Babul Jinayat when we come to it, inshallah, Durul Bahiyya, and we speak about these issues. The khata, which is shibhu qatl. A person kills a person and it looks like it. The ahkam that are revolving around it, all of it is niyat. If a person killed it khata or amd, when do we call it a mistake? When do we say it deliberate? How do we recognize one from another? This helps you a lot. Good. Which is, the Sharia looks at 3 things. It looks at the action, it looks at the intention, and it looks at the consequences of the action. This individual, what has he done? He came with the intention. He also came with the action. Are you with me? He came with the action, which is of the action of zina. He also came with what? He also came with the what? The intention. Lakin the consequences of his actions didn't really happen, because this was his wife. And the had, the hukum of this world, it will be on him what? Based on the results of the actions that would come out of it. Meaning the reality was different to what he did. Well, the crystal clear. So based on that, he will not get what? He will not get punished as a qatl. He won't be killed. Naam. It's important that you know that. Here, inshallah ta'ala, I want to speak about the conditions of intention. Before I move on to that, it's important I mention something I was about to miss, which is the way that and all this time I was speaking about the effects that intentions have on people's actions. Now the question is that the effect that the intention has on people's speeches and their utterance and things that they say. It's important that we speak about that as well. The speeches that the human beings say, or the mukallaf say, is of 2 types. Utterance, words that the people say. And the reason why I'm going out I'm showing you the niyyah is to show you how big when Imam Shafi'i is saying is what? Is 1/3 of the religion, or is 1/3 of this deen, or is 1/3 of knowledge. Or some of them saying it enters 70 chapters of the religion. You see how many places it's going into. You're learning Babul Jinayat, you're learning Tahara, you're learning Salah, you're learning all of that. Now inshallah ta'ala you're going to learn Talaq and Nikah and all of that, how it happens. Good. فإن الألفاظ المكلف على نوعين is 2 types. The first type is ما قارنه دليل يبين المراد به. A person, the way that, first of all, you have to understand the wordings, the utterance that come out of the human being. You have to understand this. There are types, 2 types. The first one is evidence shows evidence shows that which the person intended. Like from the qara'in, are you with me? From the qara'in, from the outer, there are signs that show what the person meant by this. At that point, we will implement that evidence that shows us it. For example, a man has an argument with his wife and then he divorces her. Are you with me? He divorces his wife. The argument shows us, the argument is a dalil that shows us that the word that he said talaq, he did not mean it talaq as in like you're free to go. Because the word talaq means just a free person. Like for example, when you let the bed open and it flies out, you free the bed. You see, right now at this point, the fact that he's arguing with his wife, he's angry with her, and he uses that word is evidence to show that the meaning of the word talaq here to him is what? To break al-fasq. He wants to break aqdul nikah, the contract between the two. This qarina is implemented. Another one is a man whose wife is, for whatever sake, she tied on a thing, and so he comes to unknot it from her. She might have fell into a trap, she might have fell into this, and so he comes and he frees her from it. When he takes her leg out the ropes, he unties the rope and subhanallah, or he takes the cage or whatever her leg is in, she's bleeding heavily. So what does he do? He opens it out, and then he says, Alhamdulillah, anta al-ana taliq. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah, now you're free. This word taliq, which he just used right now, what does he mean by it? It's a word that from the qara'in and the evidence to show the man wasn't arguing with his wife. It means that you're a free woman, you're able to go. I have basically al-infikaku min al-habl. I freed you from the rope. I have freed you from the rope. The second type is what? That which there's no evidence to show what this person is trying to say. There's no dalil around it. There's no qara'in. There's no indications or anything that can allow us to know what's happening here. And this is of two types. We don't know what the person means by this. Basically what he's trying to say, we don't understand. This is of two types. The word, if it's direct and it's sarih, clear-cut word. Are you with me? The word that he uses is clear-cut. At this point, because there's no other external evidences, and the word is clear what you've just said, the scholars here, they say فَتُحْمَلُ عَلَى الْمُرَادِ بِهِ لُغَةً وَلَا يُلْتَفَتُ إِلَى نِيَةِ الْقَائِلِ. The person's intention is not asked. We don't look at his intention, we look at the Arabic language, what it means. For example, if a man says that, are you with me? Like that word talaq, here right now, because there is no other external evidences that show so, we look at what the word talaq means, and it means to free. فَإِنَّهُ يُحْكَمَ قَدْ طَلَّقَ. And based on the Shari'ah, the meaning that he gave this word to is what? The definition he gave it in the Arabic language, the Shari'ah gave to it is what? That you freed your wife. So based on this, that your wife is now free from you. If, for example, a person says to another person, بِعْتُكَ, I sold this to you, and there's no other external evidences that can prove to us what he meant by it. There's no dalil and there's no qarina that can show which of which. Here we take it at its zahir, which is that he sold it to him. That he meant what? حقيقة البيع. The second one is alfadhu kinaya. He's not direct. He's using what is known as what? Kinaya. Indirect statement. He's speaking indirect. ليس صريحا. For example, a man said to his wife, he says to his wife, اذهبي لأهلك, go to your family. Go, leave my house and go to your family. What does he mean, to go to your family? Does he mean go to your family, I've divorced you, you're not my wife anymore? Or does he mean go to your family, just you're getting on my nerves, I don't want to speak to you for now, you go to your family and we see each other later? What does he exactly mean here? Because there's no evidence here right now. There's no dalil. Or there's no qara'in showing. And the speech that he said is not sarih. It is not what? Sarih. We ask the person what he meant by it. And we move on to his intentions. We say, what did you mean by when you said this? And whatever he says here is what's implemented. Whatever he says here is what? The question that arises again, inshallah ta'ala, is what? Is the niyyah a condition, or is it a shart, or is it a rukun in the ibadah? And we know the difference between shart and rukun, right? The difference between shart and rukun is أن الشرط يكون سابقا للمشروط. It's a prerequisite of the thing that you're doing. This action which you're going to do, shart is a prerequisite. It's anything that you need to what? You need to come prior to this particular thing. So the wudu is a prerequisite, it's a shart. Na'am. Good. And the Fatiha, the reading of Surah Al-Fatiha is a rukun. Why? Because it's min ajza'i salah. It's part of the salah. It is what? Mahiyatul salah. It is part of the salah itself. This is called what? Rukun. Na'am. So the question that arises is that, is the niyyah a shart, a prerequisite? Does we have to find it before? Or does it have to be what? Whilst we're in the ibadah, does the person have to come with it? Some of the fuqaha, they say that the intention إذا ذكر النية في أول الفعل يعتبر شرطا. If the intention is it's mentioned, the word intention is mentioned before an action, it's meant here by condition, shart. You see? And if it is if it's mentioned with it in terms of the action, then it becomes a rukun. But the strongest, inshallah ta'ala, is that the shart, the niyyah is a shartun wa ruknun. It's a shart and a rukun. Meaning a intention cannot leave you even inside of the action. Inside of the action. Does that make sense? That it's not a prerequisite alone, and it's not a pillar alone, it's both of them. You have to come with it before the action, and you have to come it fi athna'i al-amal. Whilst you're in the action, it has to carry on, and it can never cut off. Inshallah ta'ala, what is the shurutun niyyah? What are the conditions of intention? The conditions of it. The conditions are as follows. 1. Al-ilmu, knowledge. Bil-manwiyyi, intention of that which you're knowledge of that which you're intending. You have to have knowledge of that which you're intending. Because if you want to do something, an action, you have to be what? You have to have knowledge of it. Because anything which you don't have knowledge of it, the intention for it is baseless. Number 2, al-jazmu bil-manwi. The person has to have unwavering conviction. If the person is doubtful about it, then that's not called intention. So it has to be a condition, it has to be that it is jazb, it's solidified. Number 3, at-tamyiz. Tamyiz means what? I have to be a person who can distinguish things. Meaning you reach age of puberty. You reach what? You reach age of puberty. You reached age of puberty. Number 4, aql, sanity. And number 5 is Islam. But the 5th one, which is that Islam is a condition, is wrong. The reason is because the disbeliever, he can buy and he can sell. But that may be argued more. But what about a muhdath, a person who's on major impurity, مثلا? Are you with me? Can he not have an intention to take something and place it in his wife's mouth? Even that though he has what? Because their argument is that the disbeliever, the reason why he can't have intention, or his intention is not accepted, is because the action isn't accepted from him. That's what they said. So because the action isn't accepted from him, the intention won't be accepted from him. Does that make sense? So the same argument is with the muhdath. He can't pray the salah, but with the intent, other actions of intention, will it be accepted from him? Of course it will. If a kafir has the intention to sell something, will we take his intention into consideration? Yes. It's just that we won't take intentions of other actions. Just like the muhdath, he can sell whilst he's on age, puberty. He can't pray. Nah. So that is not a good intention. And sorry, that's not a good condition. The second and the other point, inshallah, I want to mention is, what are the things that nullify the intention? Mubtilatun niyyah, what nullify the person's intention. The first thing that nullify a person's intention is qat'uha. If a person breaks his intention, he changes it. For example, a person who prays, whilst he's praying, he cuts his intention, he just leaves his intention. Then his intention breaks, and his salah is incorrect. Number two, the other thing is at-taraddudu fiha. The person is doubtful. The person is what? He's doubtful. He goes into salah. The person, he goes into salah and he prays, and then once he goes into the prayer, he doesn't know which one he's praying. The intention is gone. He doesn't pray dhuhr or asr. I don't know which I'm praying now. Which salah is this? Intention goes. Number three, moving from one intention to another. But here you have to analyze this issue. Is very important. It's very important. Al-intiqalu bin-niyyati lima huwa a'la minha. And I'm specifically going to, specifically this wording has to be added to it, which is moving your intention to a higher intention. Are you with me? For example, فَمَنْ نَوَى نَفْلًا. A person intends to pray nafl, unrestricted. Then after, as he's praying, he remembers, oh, I can make it into, why don't I pray Fajr? And he makes it to Fajr. This is what? لا يصح. Why? Because the obligatory is more stronger than the nafilah. But the opposite would be permissible. The permissible, it would be permissible. The majority of scholars permit that. If a person is fard, he's in a fard prayer, you see, and whilst he's praying, he moves his intention to a nafilah, it's permissible because the nafilah is lesser in degree than the fard. Those are the three, inshallah ta'ala. The other point that we all have to realize is matters that are connected to the intention, which I have to mention. The intentions are also categorized into two types. They're also categorized in what? Into two types. Something that is intended in and within itself. It is what? It's intended in and within itself. And something that is not intended in and within itself, it's intended because of something else. So this is called maqsoodun lidati, and something is maqsoodun bittaba'. It's not maqsoodun bidati, it's maqsoodun bittaba'. You're intending it for something else, and it will become clear when I give you the example. Example of this would be, for example, a person, because if you know this, it will help you from the issue that I just mentioned right now of the intentions nullifying and whatnot. It will help you understand. If the intention is something that is intending in and within itself, it's maqsoodun lidati. It is what? Maqsoodun lidati. So this action that you're doing is maqsoodun lidati, and this action is maqsoodun lidati. Both of them in Shari'ah, they're both intended. Both of them are intended. لم يصح أن ينوي العبد بفعل الأمرين معا. You can't intend to do both of these actions at the same time. Are you with me? If a person, for example, he has two issues, both of them are intended, both of them are wanted, you can't do both of them simultaneously at the same time. Example will be as follows. It is not permissible for a person to intend to pray 2 rak'ah of Fajr and Salatul لا يصح للعبد أن ينوي بصلاة ركعتين أن تكون عن سنة الفجر وعن صلاة الفجر. He can't pray the same intention as what? The same intention of Sunnatul Fajr and Salatul Fajr, both of them. Why? Because Sunnatul Fajr and Salatul Fajr, both of them are maqsoodun li dhatihi. Are you with me? Both of them are what? Maqsoodun li dhatihi. They are both intended. فلا يصح أن يدخل إحدى الصلاتين في الآخر. You can't emerge both of the two together. But if it was, for example, one of them was مقصود لذاتي and the other one was مقصود لغيري. For example, سنة تحية سنة دخول المسجد, entering the masjid. The sunnah of what? Entering the masjid, تحية المسجid. This is not مقصود لذاته. أما ليست مقصودا لذاتها, because تحية المسجد ليست مقصودا لذاتها. The تحية المسجid is not intended in and within itself. So based on that, a person is what? The person is what? The person can pray the Tahiyyatul Masjid with the Salatul Fajr together at the same time. And it will أجزأته عن تحية المسجد. It will suffice you from what? From the Tahiyyatul Masjid. And there is a big khilaf that the scholars have disputed one another, which is Tawaful Wada', the tawaf of final greeting in Hajj. The scholars disputed one another. Is it maqsoodun li dhatihi, or is it maqsoodun bit taba'? Which of the two is it? Some of the fuqaha, they said it's maqsoodun li dhatihi. So if they say it's maqsoodun li dhatihi, then it's not permissible tawaful ifada and the tawaful wada', both of them to be emerged based on that agreement, based on that ground. If they say that the tawaful the wada', if they say that the tawaful wada' is maqsoodun li dhati, because already tawaful ifada is maqsoodun li dhati, they already know that. But they're disputing tawaful wada'. The group that said that the tawaful wada' is maqsoodun li dhati, they don't believe that you can emerge the tawaful wada' and the tawaf al-ifada, both of them together. The second group, they said that no, it is not maqsoodun li dhatihi, it's maqsoodun li ghayri, maqsoodun bit taba'. It's maqsoodun bit taba'. And that is the strongest, that it's not, tawaful wada' is not maqsoodun li dhatihi, because of the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Bukhari, the hadith of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Ibn al-Qayyim, he sufficed you in his book Zadul Mi'ad, explaining that for you in detail. Ibn al-Qayyim, go to Zadul Mi'ad, he brings all these points that I mentioned in details. Ibn al-Qayyim in his Zad al-Mi'ad. And also the hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha suffices you on this issue. This issue of niyyah, the speech of it will lengthen and it's very long. And we'll stop there inshallah ta'ala for now regarding the intention, and we will move on to the masalih and the mafasid. Na'am.